Hello, everybody, and everybody, hello. This is Mick and Rick here today talking on your radio. Hey, Rick,
Oh, what's happening, my brother, my uncle, my sometimes we- we're not gonna go there. What's up, Coach? How you doing?
man, I'm doing great, great, and more great. What's up with you,
Ooh,
Rick?
man, it's just the RICK. That's all. It's just me from the most powerful city in the world, Washington D.C., by way of Tallahassee, and now in the Dub C, just leaving it all for you guys. That's all. Just a little something, something. That's all.
Man,
Just here today.
when you went to the most powerful city, I was like, where is he getting ready to go with that one? I was like,
Hey,
oh,
hey, is Washington D.C. not the most powerful city in the world?
I won't even argue that with you, brother. It most certainly is. It
Touchdown! No, brother, that's a home run.
is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Rick.
sir.
And I have a kind of a different take. Well, tell me this, Rick.
All right, what's up, bro?
You know who our special guest is today, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Someone who's real close to me. Well, to my other half, my better half, they say. But yes, I do know who's a special guest.
Ah, you know. Ah, look who's there.
There she is, the
Hello,
special guest.
everybody.
Hey, Miss B.
You say that there's the special guest, huh?
Okay.
Hey, you know, Coach, you got to get her before she gets us. Mwah, mwah.
I'm sorry I can't hear a thing you guys are saying. I just know Rick picking at me.
No, me.
well, well, well. I see that, and well, we we got all kind of people I see as guests that your frat brother got people in here in the guest room rather than those who are watching the show to watch it on Insight's YouTube. They sit here in your back room uh, off stage. That's your point.
Well, you know, men of Kappa are special people. You know, we're special, so we're taking inch
and,
and
and
pull it, make it a yard. You know,
and take 2,000 miles, huh?
that's it. That's it. And running, and still running.
And still running. You know, Rick, this is the first time we tried to run our Insights Roku live. We're actually live on the Insights Roku channel as well as Insights YouTube.
What's happening, Roku? Hola, ¿cómo estás, Roku?
Come on, stars. Oh man, boy, you scare me.
I cannot hear you guys.
Okay.
Uh, this would be a great time to just talk about Miss B, and she wouldn't know a thing.
She
This
was
would be so good, but it'd be so easy. I'm not going to do that
say
because
too
we got a
easy to
special
do.
show.
Well, Rick,
Yeah.
before we get too far, we're gonna go back a little bit over last week's show,
All right,
and
what's up?
we had some feelings that she had about Deshaun Watson. You know, we had a piece and a segment on him.
Mhm.
Uh, what's your thought on that in the past week or since that time?
You know, really nothing. It's kind of we're waiting now. It's a waiting game. We kind of knew the NFL was going to appeal the ruling, which they did, and now we wait. You know, the thing about it was kind of scary is that the commissioner sets gives he picks the new person who's going to rule, and there's no appealing process after this. That somehow justice just doesn't seem right there. I mean, there's always an additional appeal up to the Supreme Court in justice, But I guess in the NFL they say we there's one appeal, and after that, yeah, that's I don't know how I would feel if I was Deshaun because they're coming after him and they're going that year. I don't think they'll get it though. And like I said last week, Coach, I mean he sat
Wait,
out a year last year.
wait. You don't think they're gonna get the year?
Nah, nah. I think they'll cut that in. All right, so he got 6. He may get 12, 10 to 12, but I don't think he's gonna get the year. I don't. Or
Well, 12 is the minimum because they don't want him to play against the Houston Texans. They don't want him in Houston. What is he, a plague or something? I mean, they don't want him in Houston. So that Roger Goodell works at the behest of the NFL owners.
oh yeah.
And the NFL owners again, they are going under what they've done already, and let that be water under the bridge. We're not going to discuss the innocence and all of that. All we're talking about is the punishment and how the punishment is being handed out. The NFL or Roger Goodell is going to get what he wants. He handpicked who is meting out the punishment.
Yeah.
And from there, I mean, he wanted to be able to have him sit out the whole year. He's going to get the whole year. To me, I think that he's going to end up getting that whole year. So we will see how that goes. Miss B, you're back. Can you hear this time? I don't think so. I don't think she could hear still. But we also, Rick, did a special piece on Title IX, 50 years of Title IX.
Yes.
On our INSiiGHTS Magazine, which again is a feature that we do where we're a little bit more serious and we try to interview historical people about historical things where we can give and donate time to them for their story. And the two people, they kept pulling me into it a little bit, but the two main people were Sarah Hill and Barbara Palmer. Sarah Hill, the first women's athletic director at Florida A&M University, and Barbara Palmer, both of them the first female women athletic director at their respective institutions. The piece that we got, the comments came fast and furious. Just a couple of them. One of them said, excellent piece of history. If the building Sarah spoke of is on FAMU campus, that's the Lua Bartley building. He said it definitely needs to be preserved. Look at the gym next to the FSU library and how they preserved that building.
Totally, Jim.
That's what everybody said. There's another gym before you get to the library that's inside what looks like a dormitory. Well kept, maintained floor. They don't let people go in there tearing it up, but it's when you walk in there, you expect to see the peach basket hanging up. It's well kept.
Wow.
Another comment we got, it said, Mickey, thanks so much for sharing. Say you're a pioneer as well. We are still in a fight for equality in women's sports across the board. Those ladies, along with you, made some incredible strides to move the needle in Tallahassee. Please continue to do what you do. Thanks again for your work and sharing this story.
Coach, why did you, number one, why Title IX, for the people who may not know? And then how did you choose these two individuals?
Good question, Rick, the reporter. It was 50 years of Title IX. And it was getting to me a little bit listening to people talk about the 50 years, and they were interviewing people. And some of the people they interviewed said, I have no idea about Title IX, what was going on during then. And what has concerned me a lot, unfortunately, at our institutions, we have the ability to rewrite history all the time. And if they like you, they enhance it. If they don't like you, they write you out of it. So I felt it was necessary to document it, to be able to put it up there for people to see and be aware of. And those two people on their campus really, really had to fight. And they, as you saw in the story, they shared some of the battles they had with people on campus and legislators. Everybody was not embracing women playing sports and athletics. And it was a fight. And they were the people I thought that would tell it.
So 50 years later, where are we?
Oh, now that's $1 million question. That's $1 million question. But first, I'm not going to avoid you, even though I can't do that. Trying to be another comment said, "Thanks. I remember coming to FAMU at the height of Title IX, and you and Sarah had your debate about how it should be achieved." Now, this is one from a former Rattlerette, and I had to call Sarah and read this one too, Sarah. It says, "Coach, this was so awesome. I never knew how hard it was for Sarah to get me on the court along with that first original Rattlerette to play University women's basketball. I knew we were the first team in 25 years, but I did not know how much work was put into it to get the women's program up and running. I'm so proud to be a part of that history and was able to play at that level. So again, a job well done, and thank you for sharing the history of how FAMU women's basketball was reawakened, but on a more higher level. Thanks, Coach." Barbara Palmer made a note. She said, "Wow, I just watched it." She said, "You are awesome. I appreciate what you're doing, saving a little history." She said, "You're a big part of it too." She said, "A stroll down memory lane was good for the soul."
Amen.
I mean, that is the type of response we got. And we talked some more. Julian White was involved in it. And because we talked about the conference that we had to start, because the NCAA didn't want a thing to do with women's sports and athletics. And, pretty much Julian was a part of a lot of everything we did. And they put a rule in after the first year, after we won the conference regular season championship and tournament championship. Mind you, we were the only Black college in that conference that we won. And that was FIU, Stetson, Central Florida, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Mercer. All of them were in that conference with us. Some of those teams we have extreme amount of difficulty being competitive with them now, but it was pretty significant. So anyway, the second year they put in a rule that your pep band could not play. Well, we called it the Julian White rule because we were the only school who had a pep band. Our pep band would be in there from the beginning to the end. And talk about intimidating people. Yeah, it did. It did. It did. It intimidated them. They were a little bit intimidated by the 100, and we tried to make sure. That was Sarah. She would make sure she would send something up for them to drink or whatever, and give them some refreshments. But Dr. White was always a part of what we did.
Wow.
Yeah, man. We intimidated. we really did intimidate them. Hold on, let me see here.
And now it's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go. Roger.
And with the coach, Mickey Clayton on Insights. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Your attention, please.
Stay up to date with the latest biggest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com.
Yes, sir. You know, we try real hard to make sure y'all are aware of what's going on. Yeah, we going pretty. We rolling pretty good right about now.
So for those who didn't see the show, Coach, where can they see it?
They can find it on Insights Roku. It's on our Insights channel on Roku, under video on demand, and we also have it on Insights YouTube. They can see it.
Check it out, folks. Check it out. It's history. Know your history.
Man, we also got a letter from Roku. The letter reads thusly: Your Roku channel Insights passed all of our testing and has been published in the channel store in the following regions: the rest of the world, Mexico, United Kingdom, Guatemala, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Argentina, Honduras, United States, Peru, Canada, Ireland, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Panama, Colombia, and France. Users in those regions can now add your Insights channel by visiting the channel store. Thanks for choosing Roku, and always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. That's
internationally known. Not
what
even on a microphone.
No borders.
Oh my goodness.
No borders.
No borders. No borders.
No
and I have to upgrade my Spanish now. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Oh,
all right.
We need a translator, huh?
Yeah, we want everyone to enjoy this content. Most definitely.
Well, without further ado, there's a gentleman that needs no introduction, maybe in Honduras and, maybe Costa Rica, but the rest of those international countries, they would know who he was before he got off of his private jet, and they would lay the carpet down for the man who has diamonds in his heart. The homeboy of my dad from Jacksonville, a rattler through and through, a Kappa man, a retired man who stays busier now than he did when he was working, Dr. Julian White.
Hello, Rick. And
hey,
Mick.
Doc. What's happening?
I'm doing fine. How you guys doing? It's a pleasure to be here with you always, Rick and Mick, icons in the music world and the sports world.
Boy, hey, you gotta watch him. He be kind of speaking off cuff. You gotta watch him now. Look at him all dapper and everything with his United States probably gold medal that Bob Hayes came and gave him when he got back from the Olympics.
He gave it to me. I was too slow. Coach Pete Griffin wouldn't even let me run around the track.
Let's listen to it. Dr. White, a man with the plan for all the land. We headed to football season, and I know you're retired, but I know your blood starts to get a little warm when the summer comes, not because of the heat, but because of practice you used to have getting those young men and young women ready to perform.
Absolutely.
How did you do it, Coach? How did you do it, Doc?
Well, I'll tell you what. It was because of extreme dedication. And you mentioned that because, as a matter of fact, I'm in the band room now. with the Marching 100. They're out getting ready, and I'm going to go and speak to them in a few minutes. But it was because the dedication, first of all, of myself, and I don't want to brag or anything, but, you know, guys, I'm a band junkie. I have been addicted to band since I started in ninth grade, and basically it is my life. So when I came to Florida A&M, I wanted to continue the legacy as set forth by Dr. William P. Foster. And so I picked up his techniques and then added a few of my own to continue the legacy of the Family Marching 100. And you mentioned, so the practice schedule, we started in the summer with summer band camp, and this year we had over 600 students at band camp. And these students are going to eventually become Florida A&M University Rattlers. So we start off with the summer band camp, and then at the end of camp, we start to work with the freshman band members, the officers and leaders, and then tonight we have the entire band together. And through drill, hard work, and dedication, and just stop if I start to talk too much. I call it the 3 M's of band development. The first is the mental. You have to know what you're doing, because we all know that the mind sets the body in motion as to what it would like for it to do. So we have to get the individuals mentally ready first. They're going to come to rehearsal. They're going to be dedicated. They're going to balance their time between academics and music. And so we try to get them ready mentally. And then the second is that of music and musicality. There are many bands that imitate the Florida A&M band, but seldom, I must say, that they duplicate it because we spend so much time on musicality. Sometimes the band members say, Doc and staff, why are we sitting down playing so much fundamentals when we could be on the field marching? Well, marching comes after the musicality. And so we develop the musicality, and then we get to the marching. And, you know, the name is the Marching 100. And as such, we are proficient in our marching, and we work quite a bit in order to do that. So we take those 3 M's, Rick and Mick, and that's how we produce the Florida A&M Marching 100.
Well, Doc, again, you did so much for me along the way. The band has always had a love relationship with the athletic department.
Absolutely.
You've been there when I coached the women, we coached the men, when I was student activities director of the Booster Club. We were able to put together Friday night strikes at the Booster Club, and we were able to have your freshmen come over and perform. And, you know, you were a guy that we could always count on. I remember one time we had a activity, one homecoming in the middle of the set, and we had the band come through the middle of the set and perform. And that was before they closed the set off. And man, y'all turned it out. It looked like the old days when we used to go to school, and everybody was on the set and drove through the set. And if you wanted to see somebody, you sat on the set and you'd see them ease by in their car, and everybody would be having a good time. You brought that back, Doc.
Yes. Well, you know, let me first of all say, Rick, Mick is he doesn't look for glamour. And I need to say that when Rick was over the Boosters, those guys accomplished things that were nearly impossible. And I worked with Mick, and what he didn't know, I worked for him. When Mick would come and say, Doc, I want you to play at the Moon for the Rattler Strike, the Sunday Rattler Strike. And I said, well, Mick, my kids are going to church, and, you know, we usually take something out. We usually don't do that. Well, you don't make Rick. Mick could give you that look. Probably he inherited from his dad, mom, his brother, but he would give you that look that says, look, Doc, I think you better rethink what you're thinking. And so, you know, you just couldn't say no to Mick because he was so articulate in making requests. He was so dynamic in his presentations. And so it was just a pleasure to work for him, and he could inspire you to do the kinds of things that's necessary. And I remember well those days marching on the set. It was something else. The 100 would come marching through. Mick would have the cars and the cheerleaders and everybody, and it was a great scene to behold.
But I gotta make sure I got that Cash App right so I can go ahead and cash this money. Can't send this on over
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Doc, tell us something. It's a couple things. Somebody had already sent us a question, and it says, Dr. White, the band is such a motivational force for the team. Do you have any idea if they're going to catch a road game at South Carolina State, Grambling, or Alabama State?
I believe, well, they're going to North Carolina next week for the North Carolina, not A&T, but the University of North Carolina game. The band is going there. I believe they're going to Alabama State and Tennessee State. I'm not sure. UAPB is coming here. Southern is coming here. That's going to be a big one. And Albany State is coming. But I know about Alabama State, but I don't know about the others yet.
Is Southern bringing their band?
Southern is bringing their band here. And, that's a big showdown. Southern has a good band, and we give them credit. They're not quite in the league of the Marching 100, but they're good. And so we welcome them here. It's a great rivalry. It's a friendly rival because, Southern's going to put on the show, and the people are going to love it. So the 100, make sure they're ready, not only for Southern, but any school. We practice as hard for Southern or Albany State as we do, say, for Southern, because we have a great deal of pride in what we do. And guys, we are our greatest critics. Marching 100, we criticize ourselves so much, to achieve perfection. But to answer that question, yes, Southern is bringing their band, and I believe that Bragg Stadium is going to be packed for the football game, but also the Battle of Bands and the fifth quarter, where we play a great deal of music.
Doc, when I was a booster director, I was working somewhere in the athletic department. I had worn so many hats on this big head. I was escorting talking about the band, but I was escorting them into their seats. And so I was with this Jaguar, whatever they call them, the dancers. Do you know people had the nerve to be mad with me because I had to escort them in? Who does he think he is walking with them? Why he got to be the one? I just let him in. I wasn't asking for phone numbers or trying to talk to anybody. I was just doing my assigned duty. And they had a fit about that. But I do know that the swag bands and the MEAC bands, we catch a little bit more competition and heat when we go out there against those swag bands. Doc, is there a reason why you think that happens?
Well, let's see now. The march, and I don't know what they are called, the Southern, whatever they call it, the dancers. Of course, they're attractive, and as such, they attract eyes to see them. And so when we go out to Southern and other swag schools, they have the major rest of dancing girls. Well, we don't have dancing girls because we don't need them. Our show is compact within itself, and we don't need girls dancing up front. Now, you say, how do we do when we enter the swag? Well, the swag thought that they were really going to put the 100 to shame when we came out there. But you see, the truth of the matter is, and I admire all the schools, Southern Tennessee State, Grambling, Jackson State, UAPB, all of them, I admire all of them because they've done so well with their bands. However, when the 100 comes, it's a different level of musicality. It's a different level of marching. It's a different level of entertainment. So I think that when we went out to swag, when our band came to they learned quite a bit of music and marching fundamentals. So do we fear swag? Absolutely not. We don't. The 100 doesn't fear anybody. In fact, I think if anything, the other bands practice quite hard for the Rattlers. They practice late at night, early in the morning. And, once we finish with pre-drill, we only practice at 3:35 to 5:40 daily. No extra rehearsals for Southern or anybody else. So to answer your question, what do we do? Nothing normal. We do our same game, our same halftime show of music, marching, and mechanic. So no, we don't fear the SWAC. And SWAC needs to know that we're going to play about 3 or 4 of them this year, and they will learn quite a bit from the 100. We even opened up band camp for them to come.
Oh,
No, Doc, not
hot
opening up the band cap
yeah.
room.
There you go.
Yeah,
Five.
and it's only
High
fun. I know some of the band directors may be listening now. They know we're good friends and that we take jabs at each other. And you put Joe Bullard in the press box against any other announcer, and Joe can get anybody.
Yeah.
So they have to come ready. Be just for Joe Bullard. But yeah, we're pretty proficient in what we do. So when we go and take the music and march and mechanics to other cities, really their fans get a chance to see a good show. And it's a friendly rivalry. We enjoy what we're doing, but we know our position in ratings.
Well, tell me this, Doc. What is the biggest difference between the HBCU bands and the PWI bands?
Well, that's a careful question. It must be answered in a certain way. I don't think it's as much BWI or HBCU. It's what the bands do. Now, back in the early days, the 50s, 60s, and maybe the early 70s, our band, the HBCU bands, they do different kind of shows from, say, predominantly white bands. The dance routines, the concert selections, the entrances, the exits, the FAMU, all of the basic fundamentals, and they generate quite a bit of interest from the audiences. Well, many BWI bands have adopted the kind of philosophy that we have: drill, dance routines, concert selection, high knee lift, high energy, and they're doing a good job. We do a good job of being a demonstrator for them, and so they learn. And so you take the big guns of Michigan State, the Ohio States, all the Big Tens and Southwest Conference bands. They are starting to really do what we do. At LSU, they hired a black band director, and at USC, one of our graduates just was appointed assistant band director at USC because they want to see what we do. So it's not a matter of color, Rick and Mick. It's a matter of what you do and how well you do it. So that's the kind of thing that happens now. And you'll see the Bayou Classic. And you see the dance routines and the kind of things that Southern and Grambling displays on the field. And so you may go to the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl and see the Big Ten bands or the other bands doing the same kind of things, the dance routines, those kind of things that captures the audience. And it's all about giving the people a show. They like to be entertained. And the kind of things that we do, I think, as I mentioned, it's not a matter of color, it's a matter of what you do. I think it was Ohio State this past summer did quite a bit in terms of animated formation that we've been doing for years. But they took that thing to Ohio State, and really the country went wild over what they were doing. And they were actually doing some of the very same things that we've been doing for years. So, just take it that way. It's not a matter of who you are, it's a matter of what you do and how well you do it. And I think that kind of brings it all to a thorough explanation, I hope.
That would be a Julian White explanation, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I had another viewer wanted to know, they said they thought under no circumstances should the band ever, and they said, and I mean ever, put their instruments on the ground during a performance.
Absolutely right. Never
Why
have
is that?
and never will. Because, the instruments are for playing and for marching. They're not for putting it on the ground. You put your feet on the ground. But we don't believe in putting the instruments on the ground and dancing. We can dance and play at the same time. And that's our forte. The band members the visitor band members can put their instruments on the ground and do these popular dances, those kind of things. And that's okay for them. But for the 100, we prefer to keep our instruments in playing position, in march position, and keep them on the body. Musical instruments are not made to be placed on the ground. And so that's why our philosophy is, and whoever told you that, guys, Rick and Mick, they're absolutely right. The 100 will not put instruments on the ground. It's just not something that's in our philosophy.
Wow, that I thought that was a great question, but that's even a better response.
Thank
But
you,
with all
sir.
the things that you've done, Dr. White, with your band, uh, Drumline, Prince, Grammys, um, tell us what the tie is between two things that are the most memorable. Playing for the presidential inaugurations, your list of things go on, and even though you're retired, I don't think you've slowed down enough to even be able to take time to really realize some of the things that you've done.
No, true, I have retired, but I am quite busy because my passion is working with bands. And to answer your question, Mick, what performances stand out as the best? And I would say they kind of run into on the same line. I would say the inauguration of President Barack Obama, because that was history, and we were honored to have been invited in that parade. So that was one of the top of the line. The other was when we played for Prince. That was, Purple Rain.
Mhm.
Well, guys, it was raining. I mean, it was raining hard. I think it was purple. But we performed, and that was really a great performance for us, and really touched our hearts. Marching in Paris, France, was also just a milestone for a United States band to go and march in the French bicentennial. But we did, and it was something else, guys. We marched. The spectators surrounded the band. They had to have policemen to keep the spectators out because the band couldn't march because the spectators were so much into the band. So those three would be our top. But then, you know what, guys? All of them are. The band went to the Rose Bowl. We performed in the Bahamas. Great performance there. We did the Super Bowl. I think we did about 5 Super Bowls. And so, really, I have to put all of them pretty much on the same level because they were so institutionalized. They were such an honor. It was such an honor to make those kind of appearances and also to represent our HBCU schools.
Doc, here's I have one. I'm only going to show a real short clip of it,
Okay.
and
Oh yeah, I left that one out. Well, you know what? You know what, guys? I did. I left out some major performances. That was the Emmys. We did the Grammys. We did the Emmys. We did the Black Heritage broadcast telecast, and we've done quite a few of those. And I'm sorry I left those out because they were top of the line performing with Conway West, and those were really just milestone performances. And thank you, Mick, for bringing that to my attention. I apologize for not mentioning it.
Doc, you got so many. I mean, it's just, when you LeBron, it's hard to remember which was your best triple double. I mean, it's
yeah, you're right. I enjoyed all of them.
and I put you on the spot, and you kind of work for different presidents with different administrations and different goals, and you were almost a politician that you had to wear different hats because each administration, it's me, Mickey Clayton talking. It's not you. You just, as a guest, you had to wear different hats to accommodate the administrations. And one of the things that always happen, it's when you change administrations a lot, it changes a lot of things. And we are really proud that you were able to be there as long as you were and to do the things that you did. And I'm looking at one of your graduates gets a job at Morgan State, and
right, Jordan Reed.
See, you have them everywhere. Kim Holloway, Dr. Arnett Moore. You got so many people that
Right.
whose lives you have touched, and how they continue to reach out to you and show their appreciation for all that you did to help change their lives and allow them to live a different lifestyle than where they might have been headed before they came to Florida A&M University. How does all that make you feel, Doc?
Well, Rick and Mick, it makes me feel very good because, I'll say this in a joking kind of way. You don't make a lot of money being a band director. You can afford to buy your groceries and get a steak every now and then. But, it's not for the money that we do this. We do it for the fact that we're able to help youngsters make decisions, to help to shape and mold their lives. And that's very important. And you're right, we have band directors, university band directors that Jordan Reed just marched for, was employed for, and the band staff here at Florida A&M. All of them are my former students. And, I just feel so good to know and realize that I had some impact on their lives and on their futures. They come back and they talk to us, they tell us how much they appreciate the life lessons that we presented to them. And it's really gratifying. It's a feeling of self-gratification when I can hear that my students appreciate what I did, what we did at Florida A&M University for their futures. And I'm grateful for that, and grateful for the opportunity that you extended to me to share my views and concepts that I have about marching bands and HBCU universities.
Naturally, Doc, naturally. Rick, so anything you like to ask him?
It is, it almost sounds like the Marching 100 for those who may not know. It almost sounds like a sports team. And Dr. White, you sounded like Coach Clayton there, because
Well,
you're telling how people you motivate and you.
I copy. Yeah, I have some of Coach Clayton's maneuvers, mental philosophies, Jake Gaither, Rudy Hubbard, Bobby Bowden, John Wooden. Yeah, I do. I look and I'm eager to learn. And so I watch people, not necessarily even musicians, but I learn from people. I learn people skills from people and how to interact with them to accomplish goals. And so it's an honor for me to have had an impact on my students, especially to say those at Tuskegee got there, at University of Texas, not Texas, but Texas Southern and Prairie View. All of those schools and directors really, I feel so proud to have had an impact on their lives. And I hope that even though I'm retired, that I can still have an impact on their lives. And Mickey, we talked about some things, and perhaps in the future they may occur. We'll keep all of the cards on the table.
Well, for those who don't know, we were this close to having Dr. White have his own show and be able to reach out, interview some of his students that are everywhere, that are now successful contributors in their community. I mean, successful. They're not just in the communities. They've been taught how to go back and give and to help others. And part of what we want to do with Insights is chronicle history. I made a comment earlier, Dr. White knows this to be true. People have a tendency to rewrite history. And there's times when you have to speak up about things that have happened, what you've experienced, and let others even speak up in terms of what they experienced through you, so that those coming behind will appreciate what happened and the role behind it.
Yes.
Because you can't speak of Dr. White without speaking of Dr. Foster.
Absolutely.
And who passed on so much of what he did through Dr. White.
Yes, he did. Yes,
anything that Dr. White tells about Dr. Foster is the truth, and it's history that nobody else knows. Tell us one of your more favorite stories about Dr. Foster.
Well, I guess one of the most famous ones was when we were in a rehearsal, and it started raining very, very hard. And so somebody said, "Doc, we're getting soaking wet, it's raining." And Doc said, Ladies and gentlemen, just gentlemen then. Gentlemen, I want you to know it does not rain on the Marching 100. And so we all got quiet. We were soaking wet. But Doc said it doesn't rain on the 100. So it didn't rain on the 100, even though we were soaking wet. Yes.
Rick, that is what I'm talking about. Those stories that you tell that nobody else tells, that we tell about Jake Gaither and Coach Lang and Mungin. You know, somebody has to tell those stories so people know. I mean, Dr. White just thought of that one off the top of his head. He probably had more than he could tell about Dr. Foster. And Dr. White, we appreciate you so much. And to take this time as you always do. I always tell you, you answer the bell. I mean, and you always have, and we appreciate it.
Mick and Rick, it was an honor to be on your show. It is quite prolific and very popular. And I do hope that I will have a chance, Mick, to implement that concept that we started on later on the week. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to seeing you at some of the football games this year.
We appreciate you so much.
You, Doc.
Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hey, y'all, what's up? Y'all get ready to leave. I need you to go on down there and hit the subscribe and the like button. Yeah. We appreciate that. Hit. No, don't get no attitude. Just do that and hit the subscribe, hit the like, write a comment. Tell us something about the show. Tell us something about what we said. Now, hold up. I might not like what you say, but I'm for sure gonna read it and comment. And some of it we even use in the next shows. There you go. Down there, hit that button. That's right. There you go. We appreciate that. Appreciate it. That's how Insights grows. We all support each other. Don't do that. Don't get pissed off. Go on and take one more sip of that beer. Yeah, sports fans, that's what we do. We appreciate you. That's it. We appreciate you a lot. Insights appreciate you. Both me and Rick from Mick and Rick Insight Sports TV. We appreciate you.
That's ironic. Take a sip of the beer because that's what sports people do. Now, I know for sure that in my, 86, 22, 36 years of knowing you, I've never seen you even sniff a beer.
That's pretty much accurate.
That's
That's pretty much accurate.
Root beer. It's root beer.
Whoa!
What?
Hey, Miss B.
Hello, how are you? I know you were having fun picking at me.
Okay. You know what? I miss you, Miss B.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
He said, I'm
gonna roll this tape back and it's okay.
That's right. Roll it back. You see, I've been nothing but nice today.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I wouldn't do you like you and the doctor always do me, but that's okay because Kappa men know how to treat our queens.
Oh, that's a good one, Greg. That's a good one. That is a very good one. But I was able to hear Dr. White. Is Dr. White really retired? Okay. He's doing a whole lot for somebody who's supposed to be retired in the band room. Yeah.
I can't say one single word about that.
You can relate, can't you?
I hear that myself.
Okay.
I hear that myself. No.
Okay.
What?
So, Coach, what you got planned for next week?
We're trying to bring in Maurice Freeman the foot. Head football coach at Brooks County. They open their season next week, next Friday at Thomasville High, where the new football coach goes over to Brooks County. One of the best games we ever did was Brooks County when they hosted Thomasville that year. They were up maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns going in the fourth quarter. They blitzed the quarterback, knocked his helmet off, almost took him out. One thing about Coach Freeman's guys, he said, bring the hammer. Woo, they damn sure bring the hammer. These little guys hit you. They knock you unconscious. And Coach from Thomasville ran all on the field trying to get a penalty. And I said in the booth at the game, I said, oh, this a tactic. He getting his team fired up because he performed. He performed. Man, they came back and beat Brooks County in a game for the ages. That game is still up. It shows on Roku under our classics, Thomasville at Brooks. It's on our YouTube page, not for long, because the only way you're going to be able to get some of our stuff shortly will be on Roku. But we've had close to 15,000 views. Some of them have watched it more than once or twice.
Wow.
We've had people go to homes in Georgia, in South Georgia, and it's 10, 12 cars in the parking lot, and they say they heard the voice, INSiiGHTS voice, and they went in there on the big screen. They were replaying the game that had been played years ago.
Wow.
It was really special.
Okay. Football in South Georgia, it's like homecoming. Every game is like a homecoming. They deep in that. They are deep in the stands.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the high school season to start?
I'm ready for some football. I am ready for some football. Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a limited schedule. We're only doing 5 or 6 games with schools that we have relationships with and have extended information to us to be able to do their games. And we don't, I mean, we've kind of gotten away from it, but we have some fans of some schools that have supported us. And we're going to continue to support them. Brooks County, I remember we got to Brooks County one day and they had us park inside the stadium. And little guy ran up, he was about 14 or 15. He said, that's INSiiGHTS. That's INSiiGHTS. I watch INSiiGHTS every week. And he came up and dapped me up. And I said, you watch all INSiiGHTS games? He said, I'm your biggest fan. I took off my INSiiGHTS hat and gave it to him. He went running down the thing, talking, man, I got an INSiiGHTS hat. I got an INSiiGHTS hat. You know, so Brooks County treats us well. You know, Brooks County treats us well. They really do. Thomasville does too. Don't get me wrong. Thomasville does too. But those two right there in Georgia, the key for us is those Southern Georgia, South Georgia schools and the Leon County middle schools. The Leon County middle schools, they watch our games probably 3-1 over the high school games.
Okay.
No one's doing it. No one's doing it. No one's doing it. You're giving them what they want.
Yes.
You know, that's love it.
Definitely.
Love it. Loving it. Loving it. Loving it. 5 or 6 games, huh?
Yes, sir. And that's in football. We're being asked to cover people in basketball already, trying to get our schedule to us, and some wanting us to do all of their home games. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Basketball is really what I like to do anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but it's some of the schools that we just have great relationships with. Thomasville High was one of the first ones to tell us they wanted us to come. Florida High was right there. Rickards, we picked Brooks County up year 2 when we were walking the field and saw Coach Freeman was down there. And we talked to him, and I said, man, I need to do some of your games. He said, I want you to do them. So every year he tells me what games that he wants us to cover, and that's what we do. And they have a article that we're getting ready to release about the top 25 small college teams in the country. I mean, small school, high school teams. And out of the first 10, 8 of them are in Texas. And these are cities with certain size and their success. And I think number 12 on that list is like Madison County in the country. But Brooks County is number 2. They're number 2 in the country. And one of the other teams from Georgia, Irwin County, who's won 3 out of 4 state championships, they're like 11 or 13, somewhere in there. They go to Brooks County this year. And Coach Freeman wants us to come and do that game.
That's going to be good. That's going to be a good one as well. That's going to be a good one as well.
See what Miss B said, Rick, when you drive around and find a part, let's tell us about the first time we went to Brooks County. And we went to Quitman, Georgia, home of Linda Thomas, one of the all-time great Rattlerettes of all time. 5'8" center that dominated people with a pump fake and went to the basket.
5'8". Whoa. 5'8" center.
5'8" center.
Okay. All right. Yeah, continue. I'll come back to that later.
Average about 17 and 10. Couldn't do nothing with her. Pump fake. Ask Senator Lawson, who tried to block her shot in the celebrity game, and she went around him and hit a bank shot. Everybody was going nuts. Well, we go to Brooks County High. Brand new school. We're relatively new. No football field. So we're in Quitman, Georgia. Just it can't be that difficult to find. So we're like, where in the heck is so we can't call a coach. He's getting ready for the game. So we try to do our game and our production without bothering coaches. As a former coach, I don't like to bother them. So we go back in the Quitman trying to figure out where could the game be. We got caught in a traffic jam. So we followed the traffic jam. It's a municipal field behind the courthouse in the middle of the city. We followed the smell of barbecue. You would have thought you at FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. They were barbecuing and cooking out for the Brooks County Thomasville game. It's a whole different thing in South Georgia. I haven't been to a game in Tallahassee like that. But in South Georgia, we went to Thomasville. It's the same way. They got it set up. Oh man, Brooks County feeds those guys before the game. They have. When I have coaching, he has a chance to tell you about the BC3, the 3 guys he had that got killed in a car accident after practice one day. He carried them to the state championship. This happened some years ago. But they go to a cross they have behind the gym where they feed them all the time, and they go by and they say their pregame prayer in honor of the BC3. I mean, they just traditionally do some pretty good things. In fact, when we put that video up about the BC3, it's on our INSiiGHTS YouTube, and it's showing on INSiiGHTS Roku. That thing went nuts, almost viral. But they're a little special. Miss B was just like, what in the world? We had a Jeff Walker got stopped late, as he always is, late coming to do the game, and messed around there. And the police stopped him. They asked him why he was driving so fast. He said they were trying to get to the Brooks County Thomasville game. They gave him an escort. They gave him an escort.
Yeah, that's special. That's special. That's special. That's right. What? You with insights? Come on, hey, look, follow us. Follow us. Yeah.
Yes.
Miss B.
Yes.
Tell them about Reigns and Reebok, the Northeast Northwest Classic, and how they told us we had to come back for that game. And we did a story on the pregame.
Man, the pregame, it's like a homecoming. Everybody, it's thick. Everybody got their own, the class of of this class. Each class has their own little tent in their area, and they cooking. They got the crab boil pots out. They barbecuing. They cooking. They playing music, telling lies. They having a good time. It was nice. I think the pregame was better than the game, and the fashion show walking in between the bands walking in. Okay, it was nice. I can't tell you anything about the game, but the pregame was better than the game.
Rick, they pulled out fold-up chairs for the bands to sit in because they wasn't getting on those seats in the stadium. They were selling all those tickets.
Unbelievable.
And they were cooking, and they were selling spots in the parking lot. They were selling spots in the parking lot. Bethune-Cookman Florida A&M game didn't have nothing on them.
That's awesome. See, y'all gonna keep talking. Y'all gonna be doing more than 5 or 6 games because it's gonna draw you in. It's gonna draw you in.
If Reigns and Reebok, if we were Reebok again, we'd be there.
Hands down.
Hey, but remind you now, all we did was do a show about the pregame. We didn't even do it. We didn't even cover the game. We did a show on the pregame. It's up there for us, and it's also on our Insights Roku. You know, we try to cover the stuff that everybody else doesn't see, everybody else doesn't follow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Well, but that's what our show is next week. We're gonna try and have Coach Freeman on here, let him explain some stuff to us about his program.
Okay.
When many think of the Harlem Globetrotters, they think of the crazy antics of Curly Neal and Meadowlark Lemon. When some think of great basketball players who are also members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain are often first mentioned. In today's Remembering the Legends, we spotlight a man who combined hoop skill and artistry at his finest. Today we remember Marcus O. Haynes. Born March 12, 1926 in Sand Springs, Oklahoma, basketball quickly became a game Haynes would master. He was a deft scorer, but perhaps even better, Haynes was a wizard handling the basketball. His dribbling skills would make even today's stars nod in appreciation. He went to Langston College and not only led the team in scoring all 4 of his seasons, he made all-conference all 4 years as well. And check it, Langston had a crazy record of 112 wins against 3 losses under Haynes. Let me rewind that. Did you hear me? 112-3, which included a remarkable 59-game win streak. One of the victories came against the Harlem Globetrotters, who used to play exhibitions against NBA and collegiate teams during the day. And after graduation, Haynes signed with the Globetrotters and would become an international star. Known for confusing opponents by sliding across the floor on one knee while keeping his dribble alive, Haynes quickly became a crowd favorite and would go on and play in more than 12,000 games in 97 countries throughout the world in a span of 51 years. He will become the first Globetrotter to be inducted into the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame in 1988, one of just 6 Halls of Fames Haynes is a part of. Haynes died May 22, 2015 at the age of 89, but he left a legacy behind. The motto of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, in which Haynes was a member, is achievement in every field of human endeavor. Brother Haynes showed there are numerous ways to achieve greatness. That is why he is a legend.
Remembering the Legends closed out on legendary Sarah E.J. Hill Yates, first women's athletic director at Florida A&M. Ms. B.
Thank you. I mean, wow, that was. I like to remembering the legend. That was pretty tight.
That's Rick. That's his baby, sink or swim.
He will find a Kappa to put on the show.
But you see my frat brother with his cane, right?
Yeah.
Not all the time. I mean, I can't help it that Kappas run the world. I'm just happy to be a member.
Okay.
Your attention, please.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.com.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, Florida Corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises. It is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representations.
We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned, and we appreciate you. I keep looking over my shoulder because I have the Roku channel on, and I wanted to see how this came across as live. There was some buffering, but it's up on the Roku channel. And so it's on live on INSiiGHTS Roku, INSiiGHTS YouTube, INSiiGHTS Facebook.
INSiiGHTS everywhere.
INSiiGHTS everywhere. We appreciate y'all from the crew.
Good night.
Catch y'all next week.
Yo.